Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes. Now, Mr. Spock.
What's up, lore masters? Today we'll be breaking down the interactions between Kirk and Khan in Wrath of Khan. Let's just get into it.
Try the emergency channels.
So, I guess no one was at your posting while you were in charge, or?
Picture Mr. Savick.
Well, it's not exact, it's a little bit off. This is an overall good use of the rule of thirds. I'd say McCoy kind of detracts from it, but if you ignore him, this gives a very impressive shot that the mind will definitely like. It also has a pretty fun military feel.
Slow to 1/2 impulse power. Let's be friends.
Slowing to 1/2 impulse power.
What's interesting about this scene is that, like a lot of TOS scenes, there's not much happening. For all intents and purposes, you have two ships drifting towards each other for most of it. What really makes it work is the music, which is extremely high-paced and moving versus what we're seeing on the screen. Additionally, this scene, which is brilliantly framed by the way, with Khan in the middle surrounded by people, giving it an even feeling to the shot, has some of his associates wearing the uniforms of the former crew. It's really pretty chilling when you consider. It makes you wonder what happened to the Reliance people.
Reliant in our section, this squadron, sir, and slowing.
Sir, may I quote General Order 12? On the approach of any vessel when communications have not been established.
Lieutenant, the Admiral is well aware of the regulations.
Shut up, bitch!
Aye, sir.
Is it possible the comm system has failed?
It would explain a great many things.
They're requesting communication, sir.
The change in music is great here. It's what we're used to, but when it moves to Khan, it goes more fast-paced, more uneven, jittery, foreboding. Great technique here.
Let them eat static.
They're still running with shields down.
Of course, we are one big happy fleet. Ah, Kirk, my old friend. Do you know the Klingon proverb that tells us revenge is a dish that is best served cold? It is very cold in space.
So this scene is really good at using camera language to tell us how personal everything is. When you watch it from the beginning, we start with a wide shot, but as Khan talks, the camera slowly moves up into a mid-close-up of him. This is honestly a bit of foreshadowing, as we'll see his obsession with beating Kirk is what ultimately leads to his downfall. So him talking about it being personal and the camera moving up on him tells us what's going to happen in the movie. Just wonderfully done.
This is damn peculiar.
And here's something fun too. Look at this shot. It's the same as Khan's, just reversed and on the Enterprise. It shows that we're having a standoff between the two captains. Even though Kirk doesn't realize it, he's coming face to face with Khan. While the establishing shot of the Enterprise does help to move these two scenes away, this basically gives us the exact same feeling. It would be the exact same as if both of them were in some form of Western and they were walking up, getting ready to try to shoot each other, and the camera moves up on them individually to give the emotion, to show each captain. It really puts us in a frame of mind that this isn't the Enterprise versus the Reliant, it's Khan versus Kirk.
Yellow alert.
Energize defense fields.
People have asked what the defense fields are versus shields since they obviously have them down later in the scene, and I've discussed this in my Constitution class breakdown. I believe the defense fields are a focus on the bridge as well as to defend against minor attempts at attack, though why they aren't powering shields when they're at yellow alert is beyond me.
I'm getting a voice message. They say their chambers coil is overloading their comm system.
Spock, scanning.
Good use of the bokeh effect here, keeping Spock blurred in the background until Kirk needs him to scan what's going on. It makes it look nice and very cinematic.
Their quarterly emissions are normal.
They still haven't raised their shields.
I guess everyone just got tired with being grouped around Khan unreasonably close for no real reason and started to go do their own thing.
Raise ours.
Their shields are going up.
Lock faces on time.
And this, I think, is the height of Khan's madness and arrogance. I mean, just look at this scene. He's using the transporter to beam from his chair to just a few steps ahead of him. It's just ridiculous. Also, they don't use the transporter sound effect, so it looks like he just magically got there. I mean, this is just sloppy work, folks. Sloppy work.
Lock faces on target.
Locking phasers on target.
They're locking phasers.
Ray shields.
Fire!
So, what station did these people come from, or are they just standing right next to the view screen? Additionally, the ship is bucking back and forth. You don't have to take a running start like that. Also, why aren't the inertial dampeners working? I mean, why the hell are they failing?
Sure, get those shields up. Trying, sir.
Alright, so two things. As you can see, they're using the dynamic lighting, which is draping everyone in red. It gives it a feel as if everyone is hurting. The light is almost being used as a stand-in for blood that would be on them for just being jostled around. Additionally, we are using those wonderful Dutch angles to show that things are hurt and everything is going downhill fast. God help them if that door needs to close quickly.
I can't get power, sir. Scotty! Turn off those damn channels!
Mr. Scott on the screen.
We're just hanging on, sir. The main energizer's out. Try auxiliary power.
Damage report.
You're going to hear this a lot, but they really rely on the framing technique. Again, it's not a bad option when you're dealing with a script that has a lot of walking and talking and not much action. It really hides how dull this is written and what it could have been if it was bad camera work and bad actors. Luckily for us, though, both the actors and crew are really on point.
They knew exactly where to hit us. Who? Who knew where to hit us? And why? One thing is certain. We cannot escape on auxiliary power.
Visual. Sulu, divert all power to phasers.
Too late.
Hang on!
Again, close up as he watches the devastation, no dialogue because none is really needed. Really well done.
Scotty! What's left? Just the battery, sir. I can have auxiliary power in a few minutes. We don't have a few minutes! Can you give me phaser power? A few shots, sir.
Not enough against their shields.
The hell are they?
Admiral, the commander of the Reliant is signaling. He wishes to discuss terms of our surrender.
I know I keep saying it, and this may start to grate, but I cannot emphasize how much this movie relies on camera work and the actors. When you break down the fundamentals of the script, there are so many ways for all of this to go wrong. Again, they really are at the top of their craft here.
Put it on screen. Do it! While we still have time.
On screen, sir.
You still remember, Admiral.
I cannot help but be touched. I, of course, remember you.
What is the meaning of this attack? Where is the crew of the Reliant?
Surely I have made my meaning plain.
So, Montalban's slight overacting aside, it is important to remember that neither Montalban nor Shatner were on the set at the same time. This footage was done separately, and yet it feels extremely natural. Additionally, I'm pretty sure that a painting or some form of animated view screen is what we're seeing here, not an actual practical set piece. I never really noticed it until I started slowing it down, so well done.
Surely I have made my meaning plain. I mean to avenge myself upon you, Admiral. I've deprived your ship of power, and when I swing around, I mean to deprive you of your life. But I wanted you to know first who it was who had beaten you.
Khan.
That framing.
If it's me you want, I'll have myself beamed aboard. Spare my crew.
I make you a counter proposal. I'll agree to your terms if, in addition to yourself, you hand over to me all data and material regarding the project called Genesis.
Genesis? What's that?
Probably the only unbelievable line that's given. By the way, great ability to move the camera, but keep generally everyone in the same place. I really like the shifting there.
Don't insult my intelligence, Kirk.
Give me some time to recall the data on our computers.
I give you 60 seconds, Admiral.
Clear the bridge.
The music they use is on point here. It's probably as important as everything else. It really pushes the emotion we're supposed to feel. We can tell that right after Kirk says, "Clear the bridge," he's about to do something important, something great.
At least we know he doesn't have Genesis.
A few things, minor notes really. Again, the overpowering red gives us that dramatic feel, and they are doing it in a different way, using the white light as the shadow. Also, while it was probably pretty hot on set, and I'm not sure if this was done on purpose, the sheen or the sweat we see on Kirk actually pushes how much stress the Admiral must be under.
Keep nodding as though I'm still giving orders. Let's have it. Punch up the data charts of Reliant's command console.
Reliance Command.
Hurry.
45 seconds.
The prefix code?
That's all we've got.
Charts up, sir.
Admiral.
We're finding it.
Admiral.
Please. Please, you gotta give us time. The bridge is smashed. The computer's inoperative.
Time is a luxury you don't have, Admiral.
The wide shot being utilized makes it somewhat impersonal here, though I don't know if I would have done it any better. This is so that you can see the devastation that has been wrought, as well as the need for movement around the bridge. It's worth noting simply because after these shots it will feel a lot more personal, and maybe that's why it was done this way. Something I haven't noted, and maybe I should have, was that the angles that we are seeing, both with Khan and Kirk. When the two are interacting, we have the camera angled slightly up at Khan, and when talking to Kirk, the camera is angled slightly down. Now, the in-universe reason for this is, of course, because the view screen is angled up. They have to look up at it for them to talk to somebody. However, from a camera language standpoint, and in your brain, this is telling you that Khan has a position of power, that he's the one with the control. We know this from dialogue and what's happening, but the camera helps reinforce that.
Admiral?
It's coming through now, Khan.
Reliance prefix number is 16309.
I don't understand.
You have to learn why things work on a starship.
Each ship has its own combination code.
To prevent an enemy from doing what we're attempting.
Using our console to order Reliant to lower her shield.
Assuming he hasn't changed the combination, he's quite intelligent.
15 seconds, Admiral.
Khan, how do we know you'll keep your word?
Oh, I've given you no word to keep, Admiral. In my judgment, you simply have no alternative.
I see your point. Stand by to receive our transmission. Soon, lock phasers on target and await my command.
Phasers locked.
So why the hell didn't the Reliant detect this? I mean, the Enterprise detected when it was locked on. I guess maybe they were using the codes to stop the sensors from the Reliant, but that doesn't make any sense. The shields would really be harder to penetrate. Both seem excessively important.
Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes. Now, Mr. Spock.
The use of the music to make it seem definitive and the moment of truth, the "now Mr. Spock," it preps the audience for what's about to come. This would be a technique used in Best of Both Worlds, though I'm not sure if they took inspiration from it.
Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes. Now, Mr. Spock. Fire.
Time's up.
Mr. Worf.
Here it comes.
Fire.
Now, Mr. Spock.
Sir, our shields are dropping.
Raise them!
Oh my
I
God.
can't!
Oh my eyes. Oh.
By the way, you can thank CBS's draconian view of fair use for my use of the fangirl here and get used to seeing her for the rest of the video. So I do love this scene. It starts with a mid-wide shot on Khan and mid-close-up on his number 2. However, when the shields drop and they can't raise them, both the way the actor looks and the zoom in to a mid-close-up is excellent. It shows how his ego took over, but now he's back to reality and realizes what's happened.
Where's the override? The override!
Fire.
Fire!
The extreme close-up on the teeth again show how much the good guys are punching back. You see that the Enterprise is ripping into the Miranda.
Fire! Fire! We can't fire, sir! Why can't you? They've damaged the photon controls and the warp drive. We must withdraw. No! No! We must!
And now we see the reverse. The Reliant is hurt, and the Dutch angle along with the actor's portrayal shows you how much trouble they are in.
Enterprise will wait. She's not going anywhere.
Again, this is just a wonderful portrayal. The use of practical effects and how Montalban is acting, he can't believe he's been outdone. He went up against Kirk and he's lost. At least this round. And in what I will give the script some credit for, this interaction, we see the Reliant limping off with the Enterprise dead in the water. If not for the actors mainly, the camera work substantially, and the music partially, this would have never worked out. This scene is mostly talking. It's mostly sitting and doing nothing with scant pieces of battle in between. But because of the things I've mentioned, this is brought to life and one of the strongest parts of the movie. Job well done, boys. Job well done.